Bhushan joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Bhushan, good afternoon. Your quick take, sir, before I ask you some specifics.
Good afternoon.
You asking me?
Dr. Bhushan, if you can hear us, sir, your quick take before I ask specific questions, sir.
I think this is basically, as far as the markets are concerned, a relief rally. The markets had gone down by 7.8% prior to the budget itself. So now that there is no additional, taxation, what was being talked of, increase in long-term capital gains, or any increase in securities transaction tax, I think it's a relief rally. Plus, of course, the insurance sector being now opened up from 49 to 74%.
Okay, so
I think
so
those are the highlights
those are the
for
two
the
obvious
immediate reaction. Of course, we'll have to go through the fine print.
Okay, fine print important, but when you're seeing the report card, sir, and you're being told that as opposed to a budgeted expenditure of 32 lakh crores, Government of India has actually spent 34 lakh crores. Does that give you an indication that we've actually spent extra and it's okay to have the fiscal deficit at near 10%?
Actually, I don't think there was a choice this year. In fact, our total amount spent perhaps will come to the lowest in the world in terms of the size of our economy as a percentage of GDP. So I think the government did not have much choice. In the coming year, of course, they have, if you will note, curtailed it to the same level of expenditure, and with revenues increasing, basically that is what is going to bring down the deficit to 6.8%.
Okay, LIC going IPO, BPCL, Air India we knew about, of special purpose vehicles, special companies to now look at monetization of government assets at a different scale. 1 lakh crore target. Now, divestment targets, large targets have been set in the past, sir. But this conceptualization of putting the railway land, the central ministry's land, the NHAI land into use, either sell it or lease it, how is that going to make an impact to the economy?
Frankly, I think we'll have to see what is going to happen. BPCL was to be disinvestment 2 years earlier. So we still have not done that. So merely by saying that we will disinvest, that doesn't happen, and we have seen that in the past. The disinvestment target has been lowered from 2,10,000 crores to 1,75,000 crores this year. The government has failed to meet the disinvestment target, even though market was at a lifetime high. So I think it will need more resolve for the government. And frankly, I think if they can manage the LIC IPO, the LIC IPO itself will bring about 1 lakh crores to the government.
Okay, LIC IPO in itself. When it comes now to us to do and worry about where India Inc. is headed, sir, are you getting an indication that this is government getting out of the way?
I think yes. Because they're opening up the sectors, and I think that's a very positive development. And frankly, as I said, it's a relief rally. Government hasn't done too much. And when I mean too much, means too much negative. It's basically a continuation of what was happening, and I think that's seen as a big positive.
Okay, R&D, special hubs to be created, glue funds to be granted, state governments to be incentivized, a higher education commission now to look at all the confusion we have of some CBSE separate, NCERT separate. How important is this going to be, sir?
All this, as I was hearing on your program, is a matter of implementation. Intent very good, but let's see what happens on the ground.
Okay, so it comes down to happening on the ground. One practical question: one-person companies up to no limit of revenue. Only 120 days you need to live in India. NRIs can also set up OPCs. Does this open it up for the diaspora?
It does open, but the fact is that unless you have a good revenue model, it doesn't really happen, in the sense that we already have existing companies. Why are they not, enhancing capacity, expanding? It's because you have to see the revenue model. You have to see the opportunity. So the enabling is being done, but I think ultimately it's the opportunity in the market.
Okay, opportunity in the market. So I'm going to ask you about that in just a bit. But banks and all the NPAs that have been put together, an asset reconstruction company and an asset management company to be set up, I'm assuming is to collate all these dead assets into one umbrella organization and potentially either buy them off the banks or help the banks monetize. Will this be the end, or at least the beginning of the end, of the NPA problem which has been going on for almost 4 or 5 years, sir?
I hope so. The NPA problem will also perhaps balloon up once the definition of, NPA which was relaxed in the COVID period is, brought back to normal. However, I am quite positive there. I think things will look up and the NPA problem will tend, it may go up just now, but then it is well under control.
Okay, now on the larger picture of things, that if this is not the headline grabbing budget, it's more of a getting a stable base going forward budget. In that assessment, sir, can this turn us around from a negative GDP into an 11%, 12% hope that we have for following years, sir?
Definitely it will turn us around. But will 11% happen? I would also like to draw your attention.
Okay, what's happened to the connection? Who's in PCR? Okay, when you get that back, please call me back. Gautam, let me put that question to you then. Is this the turnaround budget? Because we were expecting something to make the headlines all over the world. Have we seen something that makes the headlines all over the world? Is the health, is the infrastructure big enough?
Very dynamic. It's good to see something like this after a series of almost clerical budgets with minor tinkering going on.
Okay, so what's your big takeaway? Is the health your big takeaway? Is the fact that if you're going to have this asset management company...
No, it's infrastructure. It's what I was saying before the budget was presented. I say it again now. It is to do with monetization on the one hand, the railways on the other, roads, ports, all that is extremely dynamic. Now, special purpose vehicles, because if you leave it to the bureaucracy, half of them don't want all this to happen. They come from an earlier time. And this is where we fall down, because implementation is something that has to be driven. And in order to drive that, is the PMO going to drive everything? Or are you going to have somebody and different vehicles for different things to make it happen in a time-bound manner? If that is evident in a year, then I think we're onto a very good thing.
Okay, let me get Priya back in. Priya, in the end, are we feeling that there are no new taxes in a difficult year? Government is not bothered about the deficit spending. They're taking huge borrowings to pay for all of this. They have covered the basics in terms of the legislative cleanup mess that now needs to do. Do we then go home tonight and saying that we are feeling quietly confident, if not euphoric, but this is a little bit of feel good for us to be quietly confident?
Absolutely, Rishabh. I was saying, people are approaching this budget with this government. There's always been a degree of fear. So I think that's what this government has really tried to reassure, at least in this budget, that, this is not a government that is coming after you. This is actually a government that, as you mentioned in your opening statement, it's going to try and enable you, try and help. So but the problem with this government is that, it makes all the right statements, but the delivery is very poor. So I agree with Gautam and Sharmista. We really have to wait and see how this plays out, because this government's delivery record is really bad. The fact that we're encouraging private people, we've also increased the FDI and insurance, something that the Vajpayee government really tried to do, and the RSS didn't let them. But now, of course, Prime Minister Modi has got greater heft or greater, he's managed to push that through. He's managed to push through a lot of bold reform moves. It is a budget for growth, and they're trying to do growth three ways. One is increase spending in infrastructure. Second is reforms like, this by bringing in FDI. And third is, of course, the sale of PSUs. That's also a thing. Sale of PSUs has been on the government's agenda for so long. We've been hearing about Air India for so long.
Yeah.
There have been no takers. There have been no takers because there is a lack of trust in the government. That is something that the Prime Minister Modi and his team really have tried to work, I think, hard.
Okay, so if I take it down the other notch, Gautam Mukherjee, this monetization budget, by which I mean all the surplus land which is lying around these central universities, central ministries, with the railways, with the NHI on the on the sides of the highways, which is, I'm assuming, worth lakhs and lakhs of crores. Is it possible to monetize it? If I just look away from the LIC IPO for a second.
I was raising my finger to make this very point. What happens with divestment, monetization, is certain orthodoxy will say, look, I want to get the highest price I can. I want to get the competitive price if I were in the private sector and this was a private sector deal. That is not what the person who wants to buy is looking at. He wants a bargain. So when you want to buy public sector land or you want to lease it, you want to be given a strong incentive to do all the actual work, which is that it's been lying around with the NHAI or the defense or the railways. And what have they done with it? Zip. So if you haven't used it and you now want to monetize it, you've got to be very generous in terms of getting the thing off the ground. You can, in other countries that I know of, in the Gulf, for example, where I used to work, what the government would do is really feather bed it for the private sector. Of course, the scale of operations were minuscule compared to our country, and finance it and feather bed it and so on, and at the end of the day, when it's up and running, they'd sell it to them. So not only do they hold the hand of the, suppose it's leased, and not only do you hold the private sector's hand and pamper it, but later on you sell it outright to them as a going concern. So, we don't think like this, and therefore we always get stuck.
Let me get Sharmishta back in on this. Sharmishta, from a pretty practical point of view, from the building up of the conversation we were having in the morning, that are we seeing the government saying that I am here to empower you, or do we have a government saying I'm here to tell you what to do?
I think the intention of the government is the former, that I am here to empower you. Okay? All these PSUs, they have so much of property lying. I completely agree. Divestment was to happen. It has to happen because that is the reason the PSUs were giving that kind of, asset base when they were formed. That aage chalkar, whenever it is required, the country can use it to its, to improve itself or whatever, monetize it. However, my point of discord is here the current timing. I don't think it was the best timing. The trust in government is low. We just had a pandemic year. Economy is in shambles. Now suddenly you're coming up with these are very heavy-handed reforms, and all my panelists will agree that 1 saal mein to no kamal is going to happen. Even if these are to be implemented, the effects are going to show in coming 5 years or so. So can we survive that? That is my concern here. And, to balance it out, nothing was given. Since morning and since last few days, we have been talking about direct transfers, direct benefits, so on and so forth. So if something was done, then probably this could have gone in tandem. Now suddenly the way I look at it, because that was not done. So it's the intent is all good. I have always been pro reforms of every kind. We're just seeing the effect of a reform which was not thought through properly on the streets right now. And in this given very charged political atmosphere, I am not very sure. It's a very wait and watch thing.
It's a wait and watch thing. A lot in this country is wait and watch, but we have to now decide what is the point of implementation. Because honestly, if half the things announced are implemented, those always bring about systemic change. India is too big a country that government can manage it. Government's job is to get out of the way. Vijay Bhushan, are we seeing government getting out of the way?
I think there is definitely an effort. I would There is one more thing I would like to highlight. I think that's not. They have talked of, two commercial banks and one insurance company.
Yeah, to divest.
The speech did not contain the details, but I would assume that they are planning to privatize that. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, so we're looking at IDBI already, LIC IPO, and these two commercial banks and one general insurance company, and that's a divestment target. They're not named which one, but that's interesting. But my original question to you, sir, is the government getting out of the way of Team India and saying, you guys now go for broke? We are going to start cleaning up the mess that we have created for 80 years of regulation and over-regulation.
Well, I think they're trying to get out of the way, but I think that regulation and complex regulation is still an issue. It has not really been, because I have seen ease of doing business is not really happening on the ground. You can have policies, but on the ground, the ease of doing business is not happening. And should that happen, I'm sure we as a country, we as people, will definitely be able to, show results.
Okay, so more focus on... Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
In the capital markets, the regulation is fairly complex, and I spent 75%, 3/4 of my time ensuring that we comply with new rules rather than on market development.
Completely novel idea, and I don't know how this is going to be done, but a huge amount of money has been put out for it, of allowing consumers in this country to choose their power distributors. Now, this is done in the UK, it can be done in America, that you can choose the rate and which company you want to more than one. Is that something that we should actually be looking at as an implementable? Is it a desirable thing? Vijay Bhushan?
Well, definitely desirable. But this choice we were supposed to have in Delhi also. But did we have a choice? No, because there was only one particular utility company that was giving you electricity. So you need to actually build in the options. Very desirable, but practically feasible? Question mark.
Okay, let me get Ashutosh back into this conversation.